Today's episode is about legacy, leadership, and the art of staying timeless. Meet Dr. C. Vinod Hayagriv, Managing Director of the iconic Krishniah Chetty Group of Jewellers, a fifth-generation entrepreneur who has redefined what it means to lead a heritage brand in the modern age. This is a very nice statement that you made, that success for you basically means that having the least number of people who do not like you. Kindly explain, sir, what do you mean by that?
When you become successful, there's somebody pulling you down. Truth is, they're not pulling you down. They're just wanting to challenge you. You have to overcome that challenge.
So can you bust one of the biggest myths about family businesses?
A family business means it's a little bit restricting, which means I'm working for the family.
Right.
But you're not working for the family as working for the business.
Wonderful. I think it started with your great-great-grandfather, right? Cycling across commercial streets and selling these colored gemstones near cantonment. How do you think the story has shaped the values of this brand, sir?
What struck me most was my conversations with the craftsmen who worked with us. They had more teaching for me than anyone else.
Mr. Vijay Mallya. And sir, you've been friends with him for many years now. You also said that he used to come with very unique requests and challenges.
Mr. Mallya,
there's one piece of advice that you want to give them, so what would it be? How does someone tell the difference between real gold and artificial? Hello everyone, this is Seema Vikas Gadia and I welcome you all to another inspiring episode of our Ask the Expert series by JAIN Online, where we bring you insights from some of the best visionary minds across industries. Today's episode is about legacy, leadership, and the art of staying timeless. Our guest didn't just inherit a business, he inherited a legacy that spans over 150 years. But instead of simply preserving it, he chose to evolve it. Meet Dr. C. Vinod Hayagriv, Managing Director of the iconic Krishniah Chetty Group of Jewellers, a fifth-generation entrepreneur who has redefined what it means to lead a heritage brand in the modern age. From stepping into strategy meeting as a teenager to now steering a 350-member team, Sir has seamlessly blended tradition with innovation. Under his leadership, the group has embraced cutting-edge technologies like AI-based diamond grading, launched immersive museum-style retail experience, and won accolades for everything from design to ethical business practices. But his impact goes beyond business. From school makeovers to scholarships, he's also deeply committed to community upliftment. So what does it take to carry the weight of a golden legacy and still walk with a forward-looking vision? Let's find out from the man who turns heritage into innovation and tradition into transformation. Hello, sir. We welcome you. It's an absolute honor to have you.
thank you, Seema. Thank you.
So I can't just wait to ask you these questions because I think not just our viewers, but everyone as a team also we were looking forward for this particular podcast. So whatever little research that we did, we know that this group is, and goes back to like say 155 years now. And I think it started with your great-great-grandfather, right? Cycling and pedaling across commercial streets and selling these colored gemstones near cantonment. So wow, what a humble beginning. So from there to now, how do you think the story has shaped the values of this brand, sir? And I know this for the fact there's so much documented about Krishniah Chetty, maybe the transactions or the experiences. So if you can pull out a lesson from that time that still continues to inspire you, what is it, sir?
Well, if I go back in my early years of, when I came into the business, what struck me most was my conversations with the craftsmen who worked with us.
Oh, okay.
So they had more teaching for me than anyone else. It's the craft. At the end of the day, we are in the business of crafting.
Right.
So it is these humble but extremely talented craftsmen who had stories to tell me which no book has been speaking about.
Wow.
Nobody tells me. You go to anywhere in college or
Experiential
university,
learning
you
there.
don't get these.
Right.
That's why many universities want those partnerships or exchange of thoughts between businesses and students.
Absolutely.
That's a very important aspect, because then we understand the past and what is the foundation of an organization. Once you understand the foundation of the organization, then you kind of up to date on what it is when you are stepping in. And very relevant to students who are coming out, or people who are young people who come into profession. From there, the innovation starts.
Wonderful.
So keeping the background of the past, not that you replicate the past, but you evolve it from the past. So there is something about the DNA of the organization that you maintain.
Absolutely.
Quite often, there are schools of thought which says, for example, I read GE, every president destroys the work that was done by the past president in order to remake it.
Right.
In an organization like ours, I believe we should know what the past is.
Right.
We don't necessarily destroy all of it, but we evolve it from there.
Wonderful.
So that's some of the learnings that I've had from the people that I worked with initially when I came into
I think
work.
this brings me to a very interesting question, sir. I read that, initially you were faced with some kind of resistance from the crafts artisans as well. So is that true, and is there a story behind it, sir?
I think they had a kind of a objective to making it difficult for me, because they wanted to know whether I am committed to the work that I was getting into.
Right.
So they would test me to make me wait for answers. I would ask a question, I wouldn't be given an answer. I would ask them to show me something, but they wouldn't show it to me immediately. They will tell me, I will show it to you. But they would take month, 2 months to even share some information. But that taught me patience. That taught me the value of what I'm receiving.
Right.
The moment you ask a question and you get the answer, you're spoon feeding. When you're spoon feeding it, it's not just the same. Whereas if you work towards it and say, I want to learn, please tell me. I think there's a lot of value that I will get. And thereafter, that never goes out from the mind. You live with that.
Wonderful. So this reminds me of the Karate Kid. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Wonderful. Very interesting, sir. Sir, whatever, again, I researched about Krishniah Chetty. I observed that, sir, that for this group, more specifically, customers come first, right? I mean, in fact, you were one of the first people to build an entire customer databases, and that time data was not even heard of. Of course, now it's very, very relevant. It's the thing. In fact, there was this one particular incident that happened where, 4 of your top clients came up, your customers came up, and they stepped in to help when the business was actually going through some property crisis. So this kind of loyalty and trust and credibility and, the relationship that you build with the customers, I think is incredible. That's the core of each and every business out there, not just jewelry. So how did this actually happen? So how did you build that trust?
Trust was built over, successive people who worked in the organization and headed the organization. So every generation worked well. But the sacrifice, or what I might say, the right word for that is the concern for the well-being of the customer is one aspect that the business will always look for. There's another aspect which very rarely we understand. The customer wants you to be in well-being because they feel you cared for them, and therefore they care for you.
Lovely.
And when there's a crisis in an organization, any organization, we all see so many organizations that fail very quickly.
True.
The consumer or the people who care for you will come forward and try to help you overcome the crisis. That is something that I have learned when my grandfather and my great-grandfather both passed away within a 12-month period. So the generation thereafter, which is my father's generation, they had to step into the business all of a sudden one fine morning. But there were some wonderful clients who would come to him on a day-to-day basis, at least once, twice a week, and they would ask him, are you okay? Your father dealt with me, I dealt with your father, but are you okay?
Wow.
Do you need any help?
That's amazing.
I mean, Bangalore was a very small
it was
city.
a close-knit community of a...
Yeah, especially in the cantonment region of Bangalore, which was by and large an army cantonment.
Right.
So there was no public here. In fact, the cantonment had a little gate from the Peta. The Peta is the other side of Bangalore today. That gate didn't allow anybody to come into this part of town because it was an army cantonment. It was only reserved for the British and the army. The people were very, they were very highly qualified people living here. Right. They were either residents, as you call them. The residents are the administrators of the city, or by the British, or they would be Diwans who were working under the Mysore royal family, the Maharaja of Mysore. And several of them were highly educated or evolved in their thinking.
Right.
They were the people who said, we want to make a great society here. And they would come to the family, the Krishniah Chetty family, and say, are you guys okay? Do you want some help? Today, who comes to you and asks you for your well-being?
True.
It's a very commercial money, you give me, I give you, what's in it for me kind of thing.
True.
But that's not how this organization, survived with. And that's the reason I think the value systems of all of us needs to continue to care for people, and people will care for you.
I think that's such a warm statement to end with, sir. So this also brings me to this next question. I heard you saying that running a business is very different from building a brand. So can you explain it? So what does it actually mean?
Quite interesting and a deep question. What's a brand? A brand in the modern sense is something that everybody recognizes. But how does everybody recognize it? It is only through a very personal relationship or what they perceive that relationship to be or was. And that's something that's very difficult to build because there are several beautiful, within quotes, brands that have been built, but they don't have a continuity because at some point, the people don't identify with that as being somebody that you can identify with.
Right.
So building a business is the first part. The brand comes in second. In today's world, yes, you can spend millions of dollars to build a brand by advertising and marketing. But ultimately, the test is how does the consumer perceive you in a real transaction or a real, interaction.
Right.
To me, if we were to live the brand, if you live the business philosophy, which means if, let's say, my core team is about 350, but there are many who are working under this core team. So all of them would have to understand what kind of organization am I working with. If I have to be working with Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or somebody, it's a popular example I'm trying to give you for everybody's understanding. Unless you identify with the promoters, what is their DNA? We have to work with that DNA. We can have innovation, we can have our freedom of thought, we can do everything.
Right.
But ultimately, we need to understand what are the founders or the people who are driving the business, what are their values, what are their visions. Then you are a better fit to it.
Right.
So if everybody is a better fit, the brand is unshakable.
Wonderful. So I see that there is a sense of empathy. Of course, it's business, it's commercial, but I think empathy is something which is a very integral part of your business and legacy. So that's wonderful. And I think this again connects me to the next question because this is a very nice statement that you made, that success for you basically means that having the least number of people who do not like you. I think it's a very interesting way of looking at success. So kindly explain, sir, what do you mean by that?
In today's world, many people say that when you become successful, there's somebody pulling you down.
Right.
But truth is, they're not pulling you down. They're just wanting to challenge you. You have to overcome that challenge. In my own personal life, business and personal life, I can count maybe one or two people who do not like me. But the rest of them, either they like me or they have nothing against me.
Right.
So the whole objective of relationships with people is, are you somebody approachable? Are you somebody that people would like to know about speaking to you? Would they come to you for some advice? Would they come to you for an agenda-based, discussion?
Right.
Then there's a life is so much more beautiful.
Lovely. I mean, I thought it's going to be a very business-centric talk, sir, but I think this is getting very humane. I mean, it's amazing having this conversation.
Well, I have been speaking to a lot of wonderful minds. One of them clearly said that you need something called conscious leadership.
Conscious leadership, okay.
Which is when everybody comes to work in the morning, they go back in the evening. It's a full day of work.
Right.
For 300 days or 250, 280, 365, whatever you call it.
Right.
It's fairly stressful. You're going to work from home. You've got problems at home. You've got problems on the way. And then you are very stressed out at work.
Right.
But at the end of the day, how do you make a workplace far more, loving? How do you make workplace fun? So these are important aspects to understand how a leadership needs to be to take care of the people who are working in the organization, understand them by name. You got to know them by name. Even to the end, you got to go a little below the skin to understand what's the person's background,
Lovely.
their family, etc. And then, what are they doing,
right.
and match their expectations, etc. It's quite a task, but one needs to have a team, what you call human resource team,
right.
or whatever.
Right.
They need to go detailed into that aspect.
Right.
Then you build a beautiful business brand, whatever you call it.
So it's more like one extended family here, sir.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful.
It is.
Wonderful. So this is a very interesting question because we see a lot of family businesses, and from outside the perception is the traditions are set, their processes are there, it looks effortless and flawless and very smooth. But I'm sure that's just the outside picture. There has to be a behind the scenes story, a BTS there. So can you bust one of the biggest myths that about family businesses?
Never think that you are a family business. You must think that you're a business family.
You're a business family, okay.
A family business means it's a little bit restricting, which means I'm working for the family.
Right.
But you're not working for the family as working for the business.
Wonderful.
So if you're working for the business, the family is taken care, which family is not just your personal family, but the entire environment in which we work, including the governments, including the consumer, including your employees.
Wow.
Everybody is just as important, because at the end of the day, we are working in that ecosystem. So if you defraud the government, you're not doing a great job.
Right.
And no law in this country is unfair.
Absolutely.
Every law in India is a fair law. It's the law that we deserve, no doubt.
Right.
We say doing business in India is very difficult,
right.
But it's necessary.
True.
It's no different in Norway, Sweden, America, Russia. They're all the same.
They exist. Yeah.
Belgium is a very difficult country to do business in.
Okay.
Extremely difficult. Now, that doesn't mean we go away from that country, your mother country. You work with that, because
right.
that's where there is no other better country than India, if I may say so.
Lovely.
Now. So I believe that we need to be able to take care of that ecosystem and work within that ecosystem to be fair to each other.
So now that you spoke about law, so I can't stop myself from asking this question. You've had a very fascinating client, Mr. Vijay Mallya, and yes, he's been trending these days. So, sir, you've been friends with him for many, many years now, and you've always spoken good things about him, whatever podcast that we have watched about you. You also said that he used to come with very unique requests and challenges. So what has the entire experience like working with him? And I think he made a very cool statement back then when he said that, men can look just as glamorous as women. And of course, he flaunted it, he, carried it with a lot of style and swag. So do you also think that today's men and boys are embracing jewelry, or is it still a women-driven industry?
Well, thank you for asking this question. Dr. Mallya is somebody that I dealt with. My dad dealt with his mother.
Okay.
And so the relationship goes a long way, and very warm relationship.
Right.
I learned a lot from him, because I would sit with him from 8 o'clock in the evening till sometimes 2 in the morning.
Oh.
Because he's a very hard, working head of an organization. There's a lot of respect for him.
Right.
Several leaders in the country I dealt with, or I'm fortunate to deal with. I learn from all of them. So he had a phenomenal pride in his business, and he had this lovely Pegasus as his symbol, and he would live the brand. I mean, that's what I meant when I say you to live the brand.
Right.
So he lived the brand of the Pegasus that he had as a symbol. So I used to make for him cufflinks and brooches and pendants that he would gift to a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
So I would made him small ones to large ones. And he was a stickler for quality. He still is even today. He would want every wing, a little bit of movement in the wing of the Pegasus.
Wow.
So I had to learn how to craft for somebody like him.
Wow.
So the customer is the best teacher.
Absolutely, yeah.
To come to the second question, part of the question that you asked me is, what about men fashion in jewelry? Fashion in India is by and large with the women. Men, especially in Bangalore, are the techie crowd. So they are more informal.
Right.
But there are a large number of men who are very oriented towards color, oriented towards how they look.
Right.
They spend a lot of time at the parlors or, making themselves look better. They get tailors to, custom make their suits and stuff like that. So I think there is, but a small minority. But I think products that we make and which they consume, I believe the little more evolved man would come to us. And we do things like unconventional jewelry like bolo ties. For example, a bolo tie is a very old concept. It's, I think, started in Germany, where it's leather cord with a piece of gold or a metal, a piece over there. Okay. And we make them very beautifully. It slides and you can adjust it.
Wow.
And it's got a leather cord with finials on the end. It's very avant-garde. It's the 1920s. But even today, it's highly fashionable.
Wow.
Few people know about it, but that's the point. We got to make people more beautiful looking, more handsome. And men have a huge way to go towards being what you call powerful.
Right.
Dress is powerful.
Right. Wow, wonderful. So now that we're talking about fashion and trends, I also, very surprising for me to see that Krishniah Chetty actually came up with something called as Denim and Diamonds, a very unique collection. So it's a bold mix of denim and fine jewelry. So I think it's very innovative. It's also sweat-proof and waterproof. And I think it's more kind of targeted towards the Gen Z, the younger crowd. So I want to know, is this just a fad, just a trend, or these are pieces that you have to go out there, experiment, innovate, and they can be classics? Yeah. And is there anything that you're looking forward to, sir? Something that's exciting you when it comes to lifestyle, fashion? So, yeah.
Denim and Diamonds is a collection that we launched almost 15 years back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was launched at an international jewelry show in Mumbai, and we had some of the young girls to, model on that. They were with torn jeans and, stuff that were really fun. One of the most unique fashion show sequences ever.
Oh.
It made the front page of Times of India.
Wonderful.
Across the country, because they said this is jewelry's future kind of thing.
Wow.
But this is 15 years ago. We've evolved that further now. And made it more sauve, more elegant, and we use white gold, and we actually use denim fabric and fuse them so beautifully that you actually wear denim with gold.
Wow.
And it's been very well received. A large number of young people, or young at heart and mind people, who are wearing it. This is one of the collections. Like this, we have about 60 or 70 different collections. Each of them are thought through. We have a wonderful design team, about 20 different design and CAD team. They are the people who really innovate. We have two wings. We call them Creative Octopus. So this is the wing of Krishniah Chetty, which is for design. What they do in the Creative Octopus is they are looking for breakthrough trends. They're not copying trends, but they try to create trends. There are two wings of it. One is going the avant-garde, new, futuristic. One is delving deep into Indian culture.
Right.
So we would go deep into Vedic scriptures, the Muslim, Islamic culture, go deep into that and find out how we can pick a line from Mirza Ghalib and make a jewelry that is themed out of that for the Islamic woman or the man. We go into very avant-garde, very futuristic design for the next generation. So the Krishniah Chetty's design in a universe is complex, but at the same time interesting.
Wow, very interesting. So you spoke about white gold. So, today's younger generation, so, not everybody is aware about what's happening in the jewelry industry. And we have a lot of viewers who are very young and who actually like to experiment. And of course, they're very curious about things. So I'm going to ask you very simple questions here, sir, so that, it's more easy for the layman to understand. Like recently I saw this, I think I watched this reel on Instagram, a small video where there's this little workshops that are conducted where you can go and there are tools and there's the metal there and you can craft your own ring. Very interesting, and a lot of young people are interested. So for people who don't know, sir, what goes into making like a simple gold chain or a ring?
Well, a simple gold chain is you take two wires and bend them and create links. So it's very simple. You need a little bit of muscle. You need to know how to handle, pliers and simple implements. We teach them at an institute called Krishniah Chetty Institute of Fine Jewellery.
Oh, wow.
So this is an institute that has about 10 trainers, and we have short-term courses as simple as melting gold, because most people do not know how to melt gold.
Right.
And how do you alloy the gold? And how do you, create something on a 3D platform, a 3D printer, and then how do you cast them? How do you set a stone? We do all of these little training, which is anywhere between 2 months, 15 days, 2 months to 6 months internship kind of thing.
Wow.
They can do crafting after that, but to become an expert may take few years.
Okay.
So we introduce that for them. We have young girls who say, I want to be a goldsmith. And so we let them go there and do, first we try them for 1, 2, 3 days, because it's not an easy place to work in.
Right.
It's a very beautiful place. It's air conditioned. It's well set up. It's very modern. But still, crafting is crafting.
Right.
You have to sit on a bench and you have to work on gold.
Right.
So if they love it, it's great. So we try and do these kind. We've inculcated training to a lot of people, brought back old arts which had died. For example, there's something called Kundal Velai, which is a very old setting style, which we were doing this in the 1800s and 1900s, early 1900s. Then it disappeared somewhere in the 80s, 70s and 80s. The number of craftsmen capable of doing that setting, after their lifetime, they just vanished.
Right.
They didn't bring it back to the next generation in the 80s, 70s and 80s. But since the 70s and 80s, we've brought back young people and trained them in this technique. Today, that is better than what we used to do in the early 1900s.
Wow.
And more organized, more authentic. So you have a control on the weights, you have a control on the rubies that we set. For example, we set cabochon rubies, which are again cut very bit differently. We don't take the normal cabochon ruby. We cave out the bottom of the ruby to give you a billowy effect. So it's a very different look. This is not the ones that you might generally see in a Jaipur, Rajasthan or somewhere. This is a very South Indian style that we do it. And now we have a fairly good number of craftsmen who are doing that.
Wow. That's quite interesting, sir.
So we're bringing back the old dying arts.
It's reviving the entire thing. Wonderful. So this is a very, very important question. It can be for, people who are, regular buyers or someone who is actually a new buyer. How does someone tell the difference between real gold and artificial, sir?
There is no artificial gold. It is either real or not gold.
Not gold, right.
So there's no real problem there. The industry is very, very systematic now. Nobody, in my mind, gets cheated on gold.
Okay.
You buy from a small town or a large city, from a small jeweler to a large jeweler.
So, but sir, I'm sorry to cut you here, but I think we read this somewhere a couple of years back that there was this lady who came from France to Jaipur, and she was actually, I think, cheated big time. She went to a store, and I think there was some experience like that. Not, I can't recall.
I
but
think
yeah.
these are very few
Very
and far
few.
between.
Right.
They're not really de rigueur in the industry.
Okay.
By and large, the jewelry industry is
regulated.
More than regulated. I think the competition in the industry is very high.
Okay.
So it's a market-controlled standard, which is very good. At the end of the day, they say consumer is the king.
Absolutely.
The same thing that applies to us in the industry. So, in fact, I have found that the standard of Indian jewelry, especially the gold jewelry, is better than many other parts of the world.
Oh,
There is no negative tolerance when you say 9167 purity. There's no 9166.
Right.
Either it's 9167 or more to be stamped for that purity.
Right.
So it's actually highly reliable quality standards.
Okay.
But the price competition sometimes brings the quality of the crafting down or
Right.
setting down or the
Right.
gemstones. But gold is, to me, a confident metal to buy.
Wonderful. We've spoken a lot about gold. Let's talk about diamonds. We'll just shift there. So there's so much buzz about natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. So if someone is actually deciding to invest in diamonds, what do you think is the most smarter way to do? So what should they do? Invest in natural diamond, or lab-grown is the future?
When you say put money, serious money, then has to be a natural diamond. But if you are looking to buy something that you can never buy in a natural diamond, for example, if I want to buy a 5 carat or 10 carat diamond, I don't think I will be able to buy it my entire life. It's a couple of crores of rupees.
Right.
It's not easy for me
Right.
or most of the people
Right.
to buy a 5 carat, 10 carat, 3 carat plus diamond.
Right.
For that, maybe the lab grown is a great option. Because you're getting it at 20, 30 lakhs, whereas you want to pay 2 crores, 3 crores.
Right.
So there's a huge difference. But keep in mind, a lab grown is a great opportunity for somebody who's an entry level diamond purchaser. Once they experience the lab grown initially, 90% of the people actually don't buy diamonds. You know that?
Oh, okay.
Out of the entire jewelry industry, 10% of the people actually are diamond consumer. 90% are gold and other material. So therefore, the diamond consumer is 10%. Now, lab grown will fill that other 90% as much as it is foul leather or it is synthetic material that we wear.
Right.
Real cotton, real linen is the real stuff.
Right,
In diamonds, the natural diamond would always rule very high.
Right.
I don't see the natural diamond changing. It would only become more beneficial, more investment friendly, more real compared to a lab grown. Lab grown will be there, but this debate of which is right will probably be there for the next 100 years.
Wonderful. So now that we are speaking about carat and clarity, so when a layman goes out there, a normal person who doesn't know much about how the jewelry industry works, billing looks very complex to them. So they see there's wastage and there's polishing, there's hallmarking, and there's, I think, making charges, just so many. It looks, it seems very jargon filled. So if you can break that down for, normal buyers. So if you can do that, so it'll be of great help to a lot of viewers out there.
Well, you're actually speaking about price, right?
Absolutely. Because there's always this thing, am I paying the right price?
Yeah. In a competitive industry like jewelry, the price will always be right.
Okay.
It's only you pay what it's probably going to be worth. Because the competition is quite, there's a jeweler on there are a couple of jewelers on every street or every road.
Right.
So the competitive industries would automatically control the prices. It is rare to find somebody overcharging you or something like that. But of course, better products will cost more. But that does not mean they are like crazily out of range.
Right.
They're just, they involve more cost, more craft. Somebody, if I pay my craftsman 20, 30,000 per month, it's different. But if he's earning 3 lakhs a month, it's different.
Absolutely.
So the craftsman quality is different. The gemstone quality is different. But I think in one sentence, if I were to say, how does one choose jewelry? Look at it. If it talks to you, if it's beautiful, then it's right.
Lovely. If it talks to you. And I think this brings me to this thing that it's an emotion. And so gold or jewelry in particular is very tactile. You know, it's about touching it, feeling it, experiencing it. So, but these days everything is moved digital. So do you see that at some point of time gold jewelry will be fully online shoppable, or you know, the physical stores would never lose its sheen? So what do you think? So what does the future hold?
The same thing with lab grown and natural.
Okay.
You want to go digital because digital is an easy way to own jewelry.
Right.
I can buy jewelry at 12 in the midnight, whereas if I have to go to the store, it would have to be during working hours.
Right.
But the experience when I go to a retail store and I browse and talk to people and crack a few jokes and learn something there, there's a shopping experience.
True.
Shoppertainment, as one would call it.
Shoppertainment.
That is important.
Lovely.
Now, if that can be achieved on the digital scheme of things, where you make it shoppertainment digitally, then it's beautiful.
Incredible.
And with AI being there, why can't we make it? It's easy to make it. All that one needs to do, the moment I log on to, let's say, a ckcjewelers.com, can I call you, hey, Seema, come back. We haven't seen you for the last 4 days.
Right.
And you know what? Last time you bought this ring with tanzanite, I just have the product for you. It's a pair of earrings. And this is digital speaking to you, right?
Lovely.
Now imagine if that can be achieved. It's technologically possible.
Right.
It needs the mindset of the technology team to say, Seema is somebody I know. It may be a bot, but Seema is, I know it's Seema. I know her, history of purchases because it's there in me.
Right.
And with an omni-channel, you build the online and offline together, and that our AI will tell you, Seema, you know that tanzanite ring you bought from me, this is about 2 years. I think you need to bring it in for a check of the prongs. I want to clean it up for you.
Wonderful.
This is what the retail store does. Now, how can we bring it into digital? It's possible.
Amazing.
It's worth sitting there and getting it done.
Wow.
That's what makes the difference between the digital shopping and the offline shopping. We are not yet in omni-channel in the world. It will come. And I think Krishniah Chetty will attempt to achieve that in the next few years.
I totally agree, sir, because whatever little conversation I had with you, I know this for the fact that innovation in tech has a very important place. I also know this for the fact, sir, that your son Chaitanya is also a part of the business. And usually what we see in family businesses like this is there's a generation gap, right? So how do you handle this, sir? I mean, because I think I kind of read this somewhere that when you weren't here around, Chaitanya actually put up an entire lab-grown counter here. So how was your reaction, sir, to it? And do you take it in the stride, or you have some tough questions to ask? What's the conversation like, sir?
That's a hell of a debate. Because a generational conflict is part and parcel of growth and transition. So the next generation has wonderful ideas.
Absolutely.
We all know about it, but the acceptance of that is the challenge. Most often, initially, there is a doubt about it or a negativity about it. Will it work? Will it not? But everything works because there are intelligent people. I mean, Chaitanya and Shreyas, both my children, they're very good at their jobs. Shreyas is a wonderful gemologist, and Chaitanya is a wonderful business and financial brain. So he is great. Both of them have skill sets which are very beautiful, yet, in the jewelry business.
Wonderful.
What we need to do is to see how to harness that, how they can, bring, and they've been able to do so. And so a lab grown is something that I was very much against because is it the right thing for Krishniah Chetty to do? But then I found that we today hold 2 records in the lab-grown industry in the country.
Wow.
One is a 20-carat diamond, that lab-grown diamond that we sold, which is, if you Google it, you will see that Krishniah Chetty is the biggest diamond sold in the lab-grown industry.
Wow.
And the second one, we beat it by slightly bigger than a 20-carat. The first one is just 20 and above. This is a little more than 21 or so. So we have two large lab-grown diamonds bought by very evolved consumers.
Wonderful.
Both bought by non-resident Indians, evolved consumers who would not buy a 20 carat in a natural diamond, but he bought it in the lab grown. So these new thoughts, we make sure that the natural diamond part of the business is absolutely sacred, important, controlled. There's no mix-up of the lab-grown to the natural or the natural to the lab-grown. In fact, in the lab-grown, we will never use a natural. Never. Even if the consumer said, hey, you know what, I like a 5-carat lab-grown, but can you put real natural diamonds on the side? We say, sorry.
No. Oh.
Everything will be lab-grown. There won't be a natural and a lab-grown, and there won't be a natural lab-grown and a natural. So these kind of systemic controls and ethical management is very important.
Wonderful. So you've been speaking about technology and of course AI. So this has been actually disrupting every industry out there. So how about jewelry, sir? Do you think this is also going to disrupt the jewelry industry?
Yes, for sure. The digital side is going to evolve greatly, but the challenges of being good at digital is the challenge. And I think that's where digital technological teams will have to use their mind a lot more. With the people who building the tech suite, have to be very focused in how to make it better than my offline or better than a physical interaction. It's possible.
So in that case, will few jobs also become redundant, sir? Like your designers or...
It's okay.
Or is this a different skill set that they need?
Everybody has to retire, right? I mean, they have to grow out of it. Somebody who's 58, 60, 65 would generally take it, they'll take a different occupation. But those who are 20s and 30s, if they are not as equipped with the digital world, that's a problem. But those who can adapt, they will find jobs which are fabulous.
Absolutely. So you also once mentioned, I think in one of your podcasts, that some of the most stupidest ideas can become one of the biggest and successful ideas out there. So can you explain? So for me, this was, it just stuck to me.
It's a very interesting thing, there's this client who said they wanted to make a product. Actually, it's a pendant. They wanted the pendant. It was a very rough stone. It was not cut or polished or anything. Most often when you go to somebody, they'll say, hey, you know what, let me reshape it, polish it. This designer of ours said, I don't want to polish it, ma'am. I'm going to show it in all its glory. And then what he did was, it was a slightly larger stone, but they put it into the pendant and embellished it with diamonds and other gemstones, which are very unusual ones like chrysocolla and chrysolite, which is tiger's eye, and put them together and made a beautiful, rough-looking jewel.
Wow.
So it might look like somebody else would say, hey, you can't use a rough piece like that. But this guy said, so there's no stupid thing. Everything, even a stupidest is what you make out of that stupid idea. Most often, you evolve that stupid idea into a winning idea.
So I think in this context, you spoke about how your entire team gets into this room, you lock yourself into that room, come out with the craziest ideas, and then give yourselves a timeline and work on the top 2 things that you decide on. Is what actually happens behind those closed doors?
Yeah, we call them war rooms.
War rooms,
okay. So we occasionally, not that we do it too regularly, but once in 6 months, people who can think out of the box, we go and, we rent a space like a WeWork or something, go there, spend half a day or 1 day, just like a bindas day, when we say, come out with ideas that you think you want to do, but it's not done at Krishniah Chetty. Many people come up with ideas. Out of all the ideas, I think we will implement 10, 20, 30% of the ideas. But it kind of brings about a nice flavor to the business. We are currently remaking our offices. We have 2 floors of offices. We are remaking them. Now we are making them as a fun office.
Okay.
So it's not the way it was. Now it is far more. We've got some beautiful games room.
Oh.
And I'm looking to carve out a little place for somebody to relax in the afternoons after
The
lunch.
nap pods.
Yeah, pods, yes.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is to make workspace interesting.
Lovely.
And less stressful for people.
Amazing, sir. I mean, it's nice how traditional businesses are also getting the corporate way. It's wonderful. I've been following your LinkedIn posts. There's so much that you do, running this massive business. And of course, philanthropy is a big part of your life. You've been very, very active with, social causes. I don't know, how do you manage all of this, sir? Is there a mantra or a principle that you stick by, sir?
I'm not running a very big business. I'm running a very beautiful business.
Oh, that's lovely.
Saying I'm not running it, it's my entire team of over 500 people who are running it. But what's important is God gives all of us only 24 hours. They haven't given you 28, they've not given me 20.
Right.
We've all got the same 24. We just have to, and we've got 65 years to work. So if you take away the first 25, which is then you've got 40 years. In 40 years, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, what is it you want more? There's adequate time and opportunity.
Right.
Of course, you have to be in an organization that gives you the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I see many people who come for a job and they've been working for 10 years or 15 years with some other organization.
Right.
And they're working in one particular area like, say, finance or marketing or anything. But they haven't learned anything beyond they've been only in bills payable or audit.
Right.
I say, when you're there, why are you not learning other skills in your own,
Correct.
Department and then cross department? Why are you not? So you're not given that opportunity. I said, nobody's going to give you an opportunity. You have to go and get that. You got to take it out of the organization.
Right. Right.
All that organizations want is to ensure there's confidentiality of information, process, etc.
Yeah.
But if you are ethical, you are living the brand, you will be that.
Right. Right.
And if the recruitment is done right, they would be assets to the organization. So ultimately, it's what you take out. Like you go to college, what do you take out of the college? It's not the college that matters. You've got people coming out of Stanford and Harvard doing not as well as somebody who came out of a simple college here.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's what you take out, similarly what you take out of the organization and what you take out of your life. Have hobbies, play a game, you get up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, sleep at 10:30, 11 in the night or any which way you want.
Right.
All you need is a RIM time, right? Rapid eye movement or whatever you call it. 4 hours of sleep is good enough. The rest of the time, you've got a hell of a lot of time.
Absolutely.
And you can do 100 million things.
Wow. So I heard you once say that we don't want to go public, and that just stuck with me. Like, why?
No, I wouldn't say we wouldn't want to go public.
Never say never.
No, I never say never. Going public is a good thing.
Okay.
I have not said this now, but I've always said it.
Right.
Because it brings in a structure, it brings in a responsibility because
Right.
you're responsible to public
Right.
and you got to make them rich. So obviously you're working for them as much as you're working for yourself.
Right.
It's a good thing. However, you've got to ensure that you are going to be doing that at the right time. Your IPO is not a destination.
Correct.
IPO is one of the steps in a business. And I think it's a good thing. It brings in more transparency, more examination by the outside world. It's good for the business.
Wonderful. So one last question. So before we dive into rapid fire, a lot of our viewers out there are young people, entrepreneurs, learners, students, professionals. If there's one piece of advice that you want to give them, so what would it be?
Immersion.
Immersion.
Whatever you do, immerse yourself into it.
Wow.
If you're playing a game, immerse yourself into it. If you have a hobby, immerse yourself, get to know everything about that hobby. If you're working in an organization, immerse yourself into the organization. If you're a technologist or you're a marketing person or a human resource person, anything, immerse yourself. That's what the most successful people have done.
That's so impactful. So that one word says it all. That's absolutely wonderful. So now I think it's time for us to dive into the rapid fire. So where the questions will be rapid and the answers have to be fire and fun. All right, sir. So let's dive into rapid fire. This is a fun segment. Gold or diamonds, if you had to choose one forever?
Natural diamond forever.
Wonderful. The worst jewelry joke you've ever heard?
Steve's Gym or Steve's Gem?
Gem. All right. If gems could talk, which one would have the juiciest gossip?
Ammonites and Ammonites.
All right. If you weren't in jewelry, which industry you would be in?
Tough one, but there were several. But I believe I would be a car salesman.
Oh, okay.
A vintage car salesman.
You have a fetish for cars, right? Everyone says gold never loses value, but what's one hidden risk buyers should know?
Gold never has a risk.
Oh, okay. Diamonds are forever. Myth or fact?
Diamonds are forever is not a myth.
If you could only give someone 3 quick checks before they buy any jewelry, what would it be?
Look at it, love it, and pick it up.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. What's the one question every customer should ask their jeweler but usually forgets?
Mr. Jeweler, do I know you? And can I trust you? Can you give me what is good for me?
Lovely. Which gemstone is way overrated these days and why?
Difficult question. I'm not able to see which one is overrated.
Okay.
All of them are underrated.
Oh, okay. Gold purity, is 22K always better than 18K or it's just marketing?
No, it is design oriented. 22 for certain design, then 18 for certain others.
Okay. What's the weirdest jewelry superstition you've encountered?
Jewelry doesn't suit me. But I have another one.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't like jewelry.
That's wonderful. I think this is one of the funniest jewelry jokes, yes. Vintage design or modern shine? Which style do you secretly love more?
Modern.
Modern. If you had to wear only one metal for life, which one would it be?
Gold, because there would be rose gold, white gold, yellow gold, pink gold,
Wow.
green gold, all kinds.
Lovely. What's the funniest excuse you've heard someone give for not buying gold?
I don't have the money.
Okay. What's your reaction if you ever lose a gold chain or any jewelry for that matter?
Insure it, but buy another.
Insured by another. Wonderful. I forgot that I'm speaking to a jeweler. What's your go-to one-liner when someone asks, is it real gold?
It's me, therefore it must be real.
Real. That's lovely. Lastly, one last piece of advice you would give to all our listeners.
Love what you do, irrespective of whatever it is.
Lovely. That's amazing. That's profound. Thank you so much, sir. I think it's been an amazing conversation with you. I really didn't want this to end. It just went like flow of water because I think you're very clear in your thought as to what you want to convey. So thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful having you. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today and sharing your remarkable journey. I mean, from carrying forward a 150-year-old legacy to transforming it with innovation, ethics, community impact, your story is absolutely incredible. You've shown us that heritage isn't just about preserving the past, but it's about reimagining it for the future. Whether it's integrating AI, gemology, or creating immersive retail experience, your vision continues to shape the entire jewelry industry at large. Well, to all our listeners, we hope this conversation has sparked new ideas and perspectives. Whether you're building a business, leading a legacy, or simply looking into making a meaningful impact, remember, it's not just about what you inherit, but what you choose to create with it. Until next time, this is Seema Vikas Gadia signing off from Ask the Expert by JAIN Online. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep learning. Thank you.